Very good morning. I'm glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. For those that are just joining us from wherever you're watching, a very warm welcome. It is the Kickstarter segment, and we're looking at what has been described here as reverberations of music's influence beyond borders, the transcending of Uganda's music to other countries across the continent, but also across the globe. We have musicians who have sung to audiences in Japan, audiences in Kyrgyzstan, and of course New York, Paris, London, and many of these cities. You might be familiar with them, but have you taken time to study why their music is widely listened to and appreciated across borders, while some other musicians, their music is confined within our own borders? Those are all dynamics and perspectives that we shall be finding out and listening to. I have with me a renowned artist, Maurice Kiria, who I understand has a show later today. He's also joining me with Lawrence Kwisa Lulu, an artist from Malawi. So today, it's going to be very conversational and light-hearted, a little bit of banter here and there, but I'm also itching to learn how to play the guitar. If I fail, please hold your laughter. Do not judge a brother. You're most welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
You guys are looking...
Thank you.
You've just come out of an American sitcom?
We wish.
I wish.
Well, we would like to welcome our guest, Lawrence Kwisa Lulu
Thank you
from
so much.
Malawi.
Thank you so
You're
much.
already in shape for what you do best. You're holding a guitar.
Yeah.
I won't do much. Introduce us to something special.
Okay. My name is Lawrence Kwisa Lulu from Malawi. I came to Uganda for Maurice event tonight. So I'm so happy to be here, and I can't wait to watch Ugandans performing, Maurice performing, and also I should show what I got for Ugandans.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'll be getting a glimpse of what you got before everybody else at the show. Come on, play that guitar.
Kakamba mauanzelu kumandilonjeza zambiri munalipo ambiri koma iwe kundiwina ukakamba zanzelu mau ako limbikisa papita nthawi ndifuna ndimveso kawiri oh hani hani wo simfuna chinthu china ungondibwerezera hani msachotsele mawu kapena kuonjeza ungondibwerezera.
Wow, interesting there.
Thank you.
Interesting there.
Thank
Maurice
you.
Kiria fast chill. Okay, kulikao. I heard something Sinfuna Chintu sounded a little bit more like one of the languages here. What does that mean?
I don't want something else. I just want you to repeat what you've been saying before I said yes to you.
Can you say those words slowly in the language that you've been singing?
Sindifuna chintu china.
Sindifuna chintu china.
Yeah. Ungondibwerezera.
Ungondibwerezera.
Yeah.
Sindifuna chintu china. Ungondibwerezera.
Yeah. Just repeat.
Hey.
Beautiful
Haven't
song.
I beaten you?
Oh man.
Can you do that?
It's one of my favorite songs. I can't say the words, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Sindifuna chintu china. All right, that's pretty much Bantu and African. Welcome to Uganda. How do you find the atmosphere?
I love everything about Uganda, and you know, since my brother Maurice is here, I feel safe, and you know, I love his music, I love his personality, you know, the white man in a black skin.
Wait a minute. White man in a black skin. All right, that's a new
always on time.
Always
you
on
know,
time.
He seemed to be programmed
to
well,
detail.
you know.
they've been watching me how I operate.
Okay.
and
Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
a good
oh,
one.
yeah.
The road to Kiria and everything else that tells your story is amazing. And the music has been one that has transcended the years. I was told you had retired, but when I heard that you came out of retirement, that was, it resonated with the broadcaster. You really never retire. Many times.
I don't think you can. I had to learn the hard way. Yeah?
Broadcasters and journalists, you really don't retire. You find a way of making a U-turn.
Yeah.
I don't want to see yours as a U-turn, but more like a continuation of something beautiful.
Thank you.
Before we go into that, get us into the spirit of today.
Yeah, today is a special day for me, and first of all, thank you for having me, and it's good to have my friend here, Lulu from Malawi, and you know, so we're getting ready for this Friday, tonight at Serena, where we're having this show, Kyria Life, which is a night that we began in 2011, being the very first concert that happened at the Kampala Serena, and 6 years later, to see that we're doing this show again, it's pretty exciting. And I know I had almost retired, and then and I realized I was fooling myself, and clearly I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the revelation that happened in between your retirement and the rescinding of that decision?
I think you could say COVID kind of did a number on us, and it gave me a chance to find myself as well. And then I guess you could say, if you really love something, when you walk away from it a little bit, you understand its purpose more, or if it had no purpose at all. And in my case, I saw purpose more than I had ever seen it in my life. I realized that I needed it, and my country needed me. Yes. Okay.
So ideally, today's concert or event is one that does a re-ushering you onto the scene, so to speak, or an appreciation of what has been?
I think since we've been performing globally, performing a lot in Europe and everywhere else, here as well, but obviously we've had the pandemic, so 2 years, 3 years away from the music scene can be quite brutal. So I wouldn't call it ushering, but a rejuvenation of something that once was shining bright.
All right, let me return to Lulu. I love to use Lulu instead of Lawrence Kwisa.
Thank you.
You are big in Malawi, no doubt about that.
Yes.
But the genre of music that you have chosen transcends Malawian borders. Little wonder that you'll be here and lending a hand to the very good rhythms that Mr. Kyria is going to be spewing out. Tell me about the appreciation of the kind of music in your country.
Yeah, we have a couple of types of people in my country. You know, some people love to dance. Some people would want to listen to music before you know, wow. You know,
they want to appreciate
what you have. You know, so like for me, I'm lucky because I appeal to both of them. Yeah, with my, you know, classic music, and also my other side of dancing, and you know, so I appeal to both of them.
Okay. Yeah. So if I were to, for example, drop in Malawi and I ask for anything like an album, do you have an array? How long have you been in this?
I've been in
terms of the albums, so to speak. And
yeah, I've been in music industry back home for more than 20 years.
Ah, sure.
Yeah, so now I've got 7 albums.
15?
7 albums.
7 albums.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You guys, you are the same standing. How many albums so far?
6 albums.
6 albums.
And first song was in 2001. Yes.
What should we look up today? Look for? What is different?
Yeah, I would say there's been a lot of growth, both artistically and musically, and as a person as well. And I would say the same for my band. And people will be in for a show that has grown compared to the very last one we did in 2018, which was very successful. I think there's so much influence and things that we've learned along the way that we could present.
Okay. Let me just share with you sentiment here that has been unearthed in our research on the kind of music that you do. The earliest evidence of music in East Africa appears in rock paintings from around 500 CE. Images of instruments, dances, and ritual processes that demonstrate the connection between music and other aspects of daily life. On the Swahili coast in the 1700s, written documents of poetry and songs appeared. By independence, several genres emerged that dominated urban spaces and brought a sense of cosmopolitanism to cities across East Africa. In modern-day music, art is still representative, or rather is art still representative to the richness of the cultures across Africa? That question goes to each of you, and I don't know who goes first. When it comes to the music that you have concentrated on, in Uganda, one would say, I want to listen to the other type of music on a particular day. And then there is a day, I just want that soothing, good music where I can simply... How do you blend your culture? Let me begin with our guest in the country, blending the various cultures of the people of Malawi and then your music, but in a way that the Ugandan can actually relate.
Yeah, I always say no matter how I can pretend to sing or to speak like a white man, but I'll remain black, even in my tongue. So no matter how I can try to sing in a foreign way, or I do R&B, or maybe soul from USA, but I'll still sound African.
Remain authentically black.
Yeah, because I come from Africa.
That's
and
right.
You know, like personally, I grew up in a ghetto, so there's nothing that can take out that ghetto in me, and then I start sounding like R. Kelly, you know. That's not possible. Okay. So no matter how we try to twist, but we remain Africans. Yeah. Okay,
Maurice Kiria, you have twisted your tongue several times when singing, but yeah, we still relate with the music and we like it that way. He has accused you of being a white man in a black skin.
For keeping time.
For keeping time.
Yeah. Specifically.
Okay, another person could, well, out there say, he sings like a white man. Any local songs you've done specifically in Lusoga or Lugwele or Luganda?
I studied Luganda literature and English literature. Wow. So it's something that I've had as a gift since I started my singing career, that I've managed to incorporate that into my lyrics and you know, the poetry and the music. So I would say it's helped me a lot to be relatable because I understand Ugandans, and those are the kind of topics that I sing about. So it draws them in because it's something that is relatable.
Okay, take me through the business of music.
So as artists, in the beginning when we started, if I'm to speak for myself and perhaps other Ugandan artists, we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
So we depended on what's it called, live shows and physical sales, and just being
karaoke.
Being in the news was almost
I saw
impossible.
something here in one of the articles written. You are a product of that DV8 generation.
Pretty much, yes.
Interesting there.
2001.
I was in high school around about that time.
Yeah, you make me feel old, but okay.
Senior too? We are old.
We are old.
We must accept that.
I should go back and dye more gray hairs to
we
black.
Are already there. We are already there. So the business of music has shifted over the years, and Ugandan musicians are beginning to embrace the fact that you can actually make money when you're not even singing or you're on stage. The music must be able to adapt to the digital platforms and streaming services that are available. Where is your music found if you're not singing on stage?
Yes, people can actually find my music on every digital platform, every streaming platform. Mention it, and you type in the name Maurice Kira, it will be there. And that's what I was trying to say earlier, that when we started, we didn't have these platforms. We had to be on stage or sell physical sales. So it's nice that that has changed.
Okay. Collaboration is important between musicians in one country and another, and we're glad we're seeing the two of you working together. I don't know whether you have already come out with something special in terms of a collabo that you guys can give us.
Yeah, we have that plan, and I can't wait.
You have the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've listened to Maurice like for years now. I feel like it's the right time to do something together, because
I agree.
Yeah, because even radios back home, they're playing the music. I love it, and I was like, hey, let me go to Uganda.
Yeah, we were messing with an idea recently that we probably will record in 2 days, actually.
In 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about how collabos go. Many times the average viewer, when a musician comes into the country, we quickly hear other musicians talking about, hey, I would like to meet so and so we can work out a collabo. These things can be done in 72 hours.
Yeah, remember in the hotel, I was sitting with Lulu, and I said, when I work with somebody, I don't care if they're famous or not. All I care about is, can we enjoy our music and our collaboration?
Okay.
And so it depends on what somebody's looking for in the music. Some people are just looking to be famous, so they'll work with anybody. If I'm to speak for myself, I just love talent. I just love talent.
Okay.
Yeah, even to my side, collaboration doesn't necessarily mean to record, but we can help each other in some other ways also. So it doesn't mean if you are collaborating and you sing a song together, but me and Maurice were planning for that. But sometimes you can work, other things,
work on script writing. Anybody can write a script.
There's a lot that we can help each other, business-wise, and
Collaborations are basically a bridge to something better.
Yeah.
That's right. Lulu, and here, just a bit of those rhythms and the guitar again.
Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka Kodimayo Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka Kodimayo Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka Mponyele, mponyele, mponyele Mponyele, 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 yeah Mponyele zako chingwe zikafuta Ay, mponyele Ponyele, ponyele, ponyele Ponyele, 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 yeah Ponyele zako chingwe zikafuta Ay, ponyele Nadila, oh Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka
Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka
Kodimayo
Sikukanika bwanji we kukururuka Sikukanika bwanji pe kukururuka.
Why don't you forgive?
Say that again. Why don't you forgive?
Yeah, zikukanika.
Zikukanika bwanji kukululuka.
Yeah.
Zikukanika bwanji zikululuka.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful stuff.
So
beautiful.
No doubt about that.
Though it's a little bit hard to sing in the morning.
Oh no,
Oh, it's all right.
you're
You're doing a pretty good job. I couldn't even tell that it's hard.
You are saving me in this interview by singing because no one is asking me to sing, and this is perfect.
You know,
my voice is still waking.
I wanted that guitar to shift position, and we also have we're listening to something special from Mr. Morris Q.
Yeah.
Today's performance.
Oh my word! Oh
all right.
my word! Early morning songs,
Morning.
So you guys also grapple with early morning voice chords, and because broadcasters do. All right.
All right.
Here we are.
Uliranga kayimba kando nkubira nze gwe waganza ne weerabira ombuulira ng'ekigendererwa kye walina wandekera sejika n'ogenda.
Morris, to Sanzin Sao. That was a short one. That was pretty good stuff.
Thank you.
You guys are very talented. The ability to be able to do your own instrument and then spew out the vocals, that's pretty good stuff. Your stories are amazing, no doubt, and I'm sure people are looking forward to what will be happening a little bit later today. Let's now return to aspects including the challenges that you face in your music career. When you are big and you have made your name, some of us assume you're gliding and it's easy for you to do these things, but we know there are challenges out there, things that could help enlighten the young talents out there on how to go about in their music careers. First and foremost, how does a young boy or girl understand that I am good at this genre and not the other one, so that you do not go into wasting 10 years in a genre that you're not good at, yet you could have concentrated on what you're good at? How does that discovery come about?
I think I would say it begins with knowing who you are. When you know who you are, you know what makes you tick, you know what makes you happy. I think most people go into the music business following trends. And when you follow trends, yes, you might make many people happy, but when you don't make yourself happy, then your music is not self-sustainable, because at some point you start to give up on the direction. So I would advise any young musician that find that something that you love so much that you would have done it anyway, and that's what you should focus on rather than following what everybody wants.
Okay. Your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, it's about your originality, you know. Use your voice to sing. Don't exaggerate or, you know, try to sing like someone else, because in a way you forget how he sings or how she sings. You know, you start sounding funny. But if you use your voice and you become yourself, the better, and you can do it longer.
Indeed.
All right. So in terms of the challenges, the music industry has very, very many. You guys are navigating them in ways that we might not know, but that could offer, again, those that are grappling with them, a way out and how to deal with them. When it comes to investment in music, before you do the concerts and all these things, you need money. I haven't seen your clarion call ahead of today's concert. Morris, you seem to have a lot of money.
No, what? No, okay. I would say, I would say that this is what we do. This is my job, and yes, sometimes we do have sponsors, and other times we don't.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, this is what we do, and it's not a favor we are doing anyone. So when you have some money to invest in yourself as an artist, you should, and if you don't, you can, you know, try to get it elsewhere.
Okay. This one goes to Lulu. Streaming data confirms the rise in consumption of African music on Apple, for instance. It's reported that 500% overall streaming increase for African DJ mixes between 2021 and 2022. Nigeria seems to be hogging much of this, but of course there are inroads being made by other artists across Africa. How are you approaching this particular advantage in terms of putting yourselves out there and your music? Not only you as Lulu, but musicians across Southern Africa and Eastern.
Okay, first of all, let me say it's not always you working hard or knowing how, but most of times it's just the grace of God, because there are so many musicians out there working hard. They're singing, they're playing guitars more than we do, but they're not here with us. They're still struggling to get on TV, still struggling to play for Africa, still struggling to play for, you know, USA. But, you know, with the grace of God, I think that's why we are here. But on the other hand, I feel like our people, like Ugandans, are the ones to support Maurice, you know. If Nigerians are out there, they are there because they're
being supported by
Nigerians living outside, you know. So what's the local food here?
There's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
You know, like in my country, sima is like every house. When it's 12 o'clock, you find everyone. Sima.
What is that?
Pop. Like.
Is that millet, flour?
Yeah.
Hey, so
like
you call it just the same name, almost the same name. I call it in Betalija.
Oh, serious? Yeah. Yeah, you see.
All right.
So what Nigerians do, they take music out there, you know. When they have a shop out there, you know it's a Nigerian shop, starting from the music and the food.
And the food,
yeah. So the problem with the other countries, we go to USA, we adapt everything about USA, and then we start listening to rap there.
Rap and,
you know? So in that way, there's no way we can grow our artists. There's no way we can support our artists. You know, we should try to take whatever we have back home, including music, to where we go.
Okay, you introduced something very pertinent, where you can, for example, adopt R&B within the African context. Is that something feasible, or I may be completely getting it wrong?
It is possible, but as I said, no matter how you try to sound R&B or what, there's African thing in that R&B, which is very good and interesting, because if you try to play pure R&B, then you will not be able to perform in USA. Yeah, so there's something unique in our R&B that makes us also go to perform for them.
That's
the same genre.
Yeah. All right, Maurice Kiria, I have two questions. You're gonna have to answer them. The first is the rising popularity of tech. There are people today who are on TikTok, and you might think they are musicians on their own, but they simply share snippets of what they are doing. Can musicians today take the advantage and use TikTok?
Yes, most definitely. It's widespread, and especially it covers a very young audience that perhaps in the past never cared much for these kind of things. But it's also shown that so many people are talented and we just never knew. You know the situation with the sports where you have the Jet Paul brothers, Logan Paul, YouTubers becoming sensational fighters. It's the same thing that's happening with the likes of TikTok, exposing more artists than that perhaps we would have never known about. So it's important for Ugandans to actually, musicians to try TikTok and all these things to just expand their horizon. Okay.
All right, ahead of today's concert, out there we have people who are watching you for the very first time, by the way. So Wagambe Konti Kabai. Tell them they need to know the Maurice Kiria journey.
Yeah, do you speak Luganda on this show?
We do. We
all right.
A bit of it.
Lovely.
Before we lose some others.
No worries. I'll keep switching it up for the people that have never met me before or seen me before. I go by the names of Maurice Kiria. I'm an artist here in Uganda for the last 23 years, and I'm doing a show here in Kampala Serena tonight, and back to Luganda. Abalabi baffe mwenna mwasuze mutya amanya bampita Maurice Kiria ndi muyimbi wano e Kampala era nga mbadde ennyimba okumala emyaka 23 era nsanyuse nnyo okusinkana gwe abadde atamanyi miziki gyange era nandiyagadde otwegatteko ekiro kya leero wali Kampala Serena tukuba omubimba. Anyway, I'm just being funny, but yes, that's who I am, and I hope you get to find my music, and I hope you get to like it.
All right. Music is big. It's a revenue earner for just about everyone. Now, in Uganda today, we have the controversy of politics in music.
Right.
And many musicians are finding themselves in a spot of bother. Which side do I go to? Is it the one that is advocating for a certain particular agenda, or is it do I go to the one that has to counter the one that is seen to be pursuing a different agenda? For us who are watching from the outside, all we see is the battle for that table and some bread on it, which is very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, yes.
What is your position in all this? Have you been approached for your 2 cents on how best musicians can organize themselves?
Yes, I have my opinion on my opinions on those things. But firstly, I would say that it's safe to say that Ugandans are losing their what's the word? The essence of what they're doing. What's the word? We're being distracted from the music and what music should actually do. And when I wanted to be the UMA president, I just wanted to see that Ugandans are benefiting from their music and being the artists they've always wished to be, both artistically and as a business. And the way I see, there is a lot of distraction between musicians, and yes, you're right, it's ceasing to be about music anymore.
Interesting there. We shall be looking forward to seeing how the generals in the industry marshal this and help those that might be struggling on their feet so they can understand where they are. All right, I'll give the very last words to you guys as we enter the final bend of this particular program. Lulu, after this, we shall be looking forward to coming to Malawi. Definitely. And there's a lot that we need. I've already liked the language. I also understand you share the same grain for the 12 o'clock meal like I do in